Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Conscious Cowboys. For a moment, I thought I wasn't recording, but here we are. What is up? Hopefully, your week is going great. Oh, man. Well, today we have a few topics to cover. Nothing serious, I don't think.
No.
It's just, what's on our mind.
Yeah, I think that there's just kind of a lot swirling in my brain right now, and it might be good for me to just discuss it, and hopefully other people are going through similar shit, or
like hopefully it lands. If not,
never know.
Yeah, exactly. If not, well, it was fun.
Why don't you kick us off though, Mad? What's something that's been on the top of your mind?
Well, what's at the top of my mind right now is that I cannot get comfortable for the life of me. Do you feel that? I'm like, oh my God.
Well, maybe it's just because you're wearing denim and tennis shoes.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I love wearing shoes all the time.
Yeah.
Like I love having shoes on. Is
talk
anyone
about
else
this.
like that?
No, I'm not.
No, no one else can
No,
relate.
so Mad wears shoes all the time in the house, and that's just
I even wear them to bed. Isn't that weird? I'm just kidding. No, I don't wear them all the time.
Did you see me? I thought about it for a second.
Yeah,
I was
you're
like, damn,
ew.
for real?
No. I cannot even wear socks in bed.
I don't like wearing shoes that often, and I feel like my feet need to breathe and stretch and move. And so the second I get home, I kick my shoes off, and you have yours on, and I will be sitting here watching something, and I'll look over and I'm like, Madison, you have to take those off. Like, that's stressing me out just looking at you wearing shoes.
No, I don't know why. Just they keep my feet warm. I don't know why. I like it.
Okay.
And it, as dumb as it sounds, like sometimes I like that it like completes my outfit, even though I'm sitting.
No,
like,
I get
I feel
that.
like very polished, and I like it.
Oh, on that note, really quick, I feel like I need to update my shoe inventory.
Oh, same.
Because I have not been able recently to find shoes that complete my outfit. Like, I'll put an outfit on and then I'll put the shoes on. I'm like, nope.
Completely ruins it.
Yes, it ruined it.
Yeah.
And yesterday I got stuck wearing platform Doc Martens to the Getty, which the platform Doc Martens I have are like the hard kind.
We walked like 8,000 steps.
And I don't even think that that's a lot, is it?
No, it's pretty good. People try to get at least 10 a day.
Okay.
So.
Okay. But anyways, they make squeaky noises like SpongeBob fry cook boots, and they're hard and stiff, and they rub the hell out of my ankles. And I'm just like, I think it's time to just get a few new pairs of shoes that are just the go-tos that complete the outfit.
Yeah. I was just talking to Tess the other day when we were in Urban, and I was saying that I need to get more shoes that aren't tennis shoes, But I feel like it's hard to find a nice shoe that will last for years for me. Like, I want it to be timeless.
I feel like I have to go like for a classic style, and then obviously real leather, because the real leather always lasts way
real
longer.
leather. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We're working on it. We're building our inventory. It's so unimportant. Anyway.
So unimportant.
Just go on about shoes. I know people can relate to that. Okay. So first thing on my list is I wrote down the Malibu day. Because first things first is Tess and I, if you listen regularly, we go to Malibu. We try to at least once a week because it's our favorite place ever. And we went there midweek last week. And funny note is that we were driving, and for some reason, like, we saw this truck that was, just driving. It was like a typical muddy truck. And they had flags on their car, which, like, that's fine. Cool. But one was a Confederate flag, and we're just like,
how is that even a thing?
Who has
still?
that?
Yeah.
Legit. It was so bizarre. And maybe if you're in another state other than California, you see that more often. But it was just like,
whoa,
really alarming.
Yeah.
And then so we're like, all right, we're driving, and we're like, let's just like catch up to these people just to like see who's in there. And as soon as we look over and we catch like our car windows line up, they're already looking at us. We're like, wait, what the fuck? So then me and Tess like immediately turn our head and we're like, oh my God. It was just funny, but it's exactly who you would picture in the car. Was
exactly.
It? But they were just kids, maybe they just, I don't know, have strong opinions politically. I don't know. That was just fucking weird.
No one that I'd necessarily want to have a conversation with.
No.
But you never know what someone's perspective is. I mean,
I would be interested to hear their conversation, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'd agree.
Totally. Mm-hmm. I have to take that back, because it's like I want to have conversations.
Yeah,
with
I want to
people
know
that
like how their mind is.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on in there? Why do you have that flag on your car? Yeah.
Do you want to also talk about something
that's
that
what I was
happened in
gonna
Malibu?
say.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so then I wrote this down because we were in Malibu, got sun life, went to the beach, and we saw these two surfers and they're hot. Like, they're cute. And they're surfing, so automatically they're like 10% hotter, you know? And so Tess looks over and she's like, you know, like, yum. And I was like, yeah, I've seen them like get out of their car. Like they specifically their car. Oh yeah. Specifically getting excited again. No, specifically they get out of a Porsche. And so I remembered that when I saw them last time and I was like, oh my God, these two young guys got out of a Porsche. They're surfing, so fucking hot. So then Tess, I don't know how it came up, but she was like, oh my God, you know what car they have? Like, let's find it in the parking lot and you write a note and put your number on it. And we were just like, I don't know, like joking, like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then recently we had a neighbor who had moved out who put his Instagram like on a note saying goodbye, like cool that we were neighbors. And we were like, oh my God, let's just put our Instagram handle on this note on this person's car. So I was like, oh no, we're not going to do it. And that's Tess is like, you got to do it. And I was like, okay, who cares? So then I did it. We went. I mean,
there was like a lot of hyping up.
Yeah, there was. I had to. It was like a far-ish walk to the car, and so we went to Whole Foods, got a receipt paper, like wrote down. Wait, let me try to think of exactly. I know we have a screenshot of it. Exactly what we wrote down. I think it was no. Not sure if you're single.
Yeah.
But you're cute.
Yeah.
At Madison Nicole Butine.
Yeah.
And so,
which the only reason that's a big deal is because we just weren't sure if that car
was their car.
Was theirs. So then it's like I could be giving my information
like some creepy ass
but it's like a low buy-in. It's just Instagram and you can easily block.
Absolutely. You know? So then it was fine and I panicked a little bit when I put it on their windshield.
I have video.
Like,
I'll share
fuck.
It.
I don't know if I want to share. That's literally embarrassing. Like maybe not. And yeah, so we did that. The guy did DM me, which is so nice. He was like, I'm not single, but it made my day. Keep doing it. Like that's really like takes a lot of guts. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, like so nice to even DM. Yeah. And I'm glad it was their car. Yeah. Okay.
Because we confirmed, because we looked at his Instagram and we're like,
God. Yeah. I was like, that's him. So just stepping out of our comfort zone, you know?
No, I'm really proud that you did it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one small step for man, one giant leap for us.
Yeah, legit.
Just putting ourselves
I'm
going
to do that not all the time, because it's like rare when you see cute people.
When you deem it to be worth it.
Yes. And like, it's such a low, as Tess would say, low buy-in of putting your Instagram handle on there, because I'm not giving my number. Like, if you DM me, I could just ignore it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's great.
I loved it. It was really funny.
It was also fun. Yeah. Like it just
had,
like to get
a lot of excitement.
like the butterflies in our stomach. I was like, oh, I love this feeling. Yeah. Cute.
Oh, well, that's definitely something I wanted to touch on, was like how it made us feel to receive a note from our old neighbor was awesome. And then to give a note was awesome. I don't know. I just feel like it feels like passing notes.
I love notes.
Yeah. And we just rarely do that as adults. So I mean,
bringing
we tried.
It back. We do that. I don't know where our notepad is. That's why I want to go get note paper or like blank paper. I have, because I love writing. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I don't know where it is, and I was trying to write a note the other day, but I was like, where the fuck is it?
Oh dang, I'll have to put it back out.
But no, it's okay. But
yes, leave some notes for people.
Yeah, I love notes.
You never know who you're gonna meet.
Seriously,
you never know.
Yes,
and also how that's gonna positively impact their day.
Yeah, I love notes. Yeah, especially from boys. Oh my God, it's different.
It's different.
It is. I mean, when girls give me notes too, I love that too. But it's just like less common for a guy to be like, you know what? I'm going to write a note. Yeah, it's rare.
Yep.
So do that.
Okay, I'm switching gears, and something that's like definitely not as lighthearted and cute and fun, but probably should be talked about, is just like what a fucking week I've had. And I'm not going to go into the details or complain at all, but I just wanted to give a little insight so that people can get a gentle reminder that like you don't really know what people are going through. And it's nothing that I mean, there's some things that I've personally been going through this week. It's more so in my close group of people. It was just a really big week. We had a cancer diagnosis. We had a 5-year anniversary of a mass shooting. We had a lot of like interpersonal miscommunication, conflict, just up and down the line. Like there was just a lot going on this week for people that I know personally and in my life. And I just think that let it be a gentle reminder of let's all be kind. You don't know what people are going through. And then that ties into leaving notes for people of just like bridge the gap between you and somebody. Like you never know how that's going to change the trajectory of your life or their life. And maybe it's a really positive thing that comes out of it. So just a little note of be kind to people and like, you know, check yourself before you go and like say something to someone. If you feel like you're going to go at someone for something, like, why don't you just like take a moment, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, 1,000% agree.
Not that you personally have done that this week, but maybe if you feel like that's coming up for you, you just take a moment and you just reconsider.
Yeah, it's really crazy. And I think Tess and I talk about this in private a lot, especially being public facing us, like as instructors for Pilates, and women come in and sometimes they are just, and I can be this way too, just kind of nasty, you know? They just have a lot that they're hiding or that has built up, and they just want to like take it out on people around them. And then I'm mad sometimes when they come into me like with that energy, and then I get them to break it down sort of just like, how's your day? And then they feel like good enough to open up, and then they do. And I'm like, oh shit. Like they have a lot of shit going on. And so yeah, just be as kind as possible. And also when you're having a bad day, which I know is really challenging and same for me too, but just like having the awareness of maybe you're holding a lot in and how that could potentially affect people with like the energy you're bringing. So just be aware of that too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's harder, easier said than done for sure. But having the awareness and then just like checking yourself and being like, okay, I don't need to be like fake and be like, oh my God, how are you? You don't need to be fake.
But maybe just like
don't like push
remove
your shit.
yourself from a situation. Yeah. Like if you're like maxed out socially, emotionally, whatever it may be, maybe take a step back versus forcing yourself to go talk to someone or go do something that you want to do. Like, what if you just decide, like, you know what? I don't think this is a good fit for me right now, and I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to remove myself.
Yeah.
Like that would really probably get you into a way better position with somebody else than showing up anyways because you don't feel good and then you projecting outwards. Like, yeah. I think the social awareness and the self-awareness part is key. Mm-hmm. I have to do that all the time with myself.
Yeah,
I'm like,
me too.
Whoa, I'm having a moment.
Yeah.
And I just need to take a step back.
Yeah, same.
And chill for a minute before I say something that I don't mean or do something that I'm not going to necessarily be proud of.
Yeah, but it's really funny because when I do that, I'll just become more quiet. But then people are like, you're passive aggressive. Like they think something. I'm like, bro, I'm just like literally having a day and I need to be quiet. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know why that just reminded me of that job interview with that gym out here. Boy. Dude, I was thinking about that this morning and we did a whole episode on this huge rejection that I had from this gym that I was trying to work out when I first moved back to the place we're living in now. And thank God I did not get hired there. I'm just saying, thank you, universe, for looking out for me. Wrong fit. Completely wrong. Yeah. And we knew that when the rejection came in. But like, oh God, thank you. Seriously.
We've talked about this a lot too, not just in that scenario, but just in general.
Yeah.
Like when things don't work out in the moment, I think I said this last episode or an episode before of like, it's really hard to trust that wasn't meant for you and that better things are coming your way. But in the moment you're just like, fuck, are you serious?
Like, this sucks. I hate this.
Yeah. And then something else comes along and you realize I am so grateful that did not work out. What I have now is a way better fit for me.
Yeah, totally.
Oh man. I'm sorry that you're thinking about it, but also
no, I'm not even sad about it. It's always in a good way because that was just so like, honestly,
oh man,
the thought, like you think you know what you want and then it's just not it. You're like, oh my God, I was wrong. Like, I don't know why intuitively there was some weird mixed feelings in there, but damn, the universe like knows what's up. Honestly. Yeah, it's great. Okay. But yeah, anyway,
on that note of just like you were thinking about the past and stuff, I've been having the weirdest dreams this week. And I know that every morning I come out and I'm like, oh, had another one, mad. And then like, I'll try to recount what happened. But I'm curious if that's happening in other people's lives too.
Like if there's something in that. I have.
But I feel like every single night I'm having these really vivid, wild dreams. And I don't know how to stop them. And we've talked about like, maybe I need to meditate before bed.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to like chill out before.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we're watching TV at night, but we're not watching anything horrible that like would plant seeds in my brain.
No, recently though, we've been obsessed with Tyler Henry. I feel like we're late to the party. I don't even know how we didn't mention this
is all
first.
your fault.
Yeah, honestly, thank you. I really am enjoying, like, we enjoy the show, but I don't know what day that was, but we watched like 7 episodes. We could have literally stayed up until like 2 a.m. to watch it, but we definitely binge watched it, and we were just crying on the couch. Like, Tess's reaction was just like, oh my God, I'm going to cry. And then I would just start hysterically laughing because if I didn't, I would cry. So it's like,
wait, we have to give people context. If you don't know who Tyler Henry is,
the Hollywood medium.
But like he basically is clairvoyant and he speaks and has, I don't know, conversations with people who have crossed over.
Yes.
And helps, like he does readings for people. So the show is all about him doing readings for people and you are sitting down like listening to it. It is wild, one, and also so emotionally draining.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole flood. There's like moments of laughter between them and it's like light and fun. And then it's intense sadness. And then there's really sweet things that come up. And the mix of it all seriously feels like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Hence
that's
the
like
laughing
my
and crying.
Entire day. Yeah. I'm just like, I understand this completely. It's so good.
I interrupted you though.
No, that's okay. I don't know even what I was going to talk about.
Other than we've been watching that. So maybe that's.
Oh, yeah. So I feel like maybe that, because I know you had some dreams about like, you know, that show, like weird shadows in your room and stuff.
Yeah, weird shadows in my room. But also, I think that it was just like, again, I kind of listed some of the crazy shit that we were going through this week. It was a big week.
Yeah.
Like there was just a lot that felt like it was out of my control. There was a lot of emotions attached. I had a lot of things from my past come up. And I think that my brain was just trying to process it all and maybe was a little bit on overload. So I'm dreaming about it to help process things. I don't know. I'm just ready to go back to like my very peaceful, no dream sleep.
Yeah. I don't know if I've been having crazy dreams, but just people have been showing up in my dreams and I'm like,
what does this mean?
Why are you there?
Wink,
like
wink.
Literally stop it.
No, you don't have to say.
I would not fucking say who.
Someone that I'm actually like, all right, cool. I'm glad.
It's like weird as fuck. Dream. And this is like, do you have some things that you need to like unpack? Like what's going on? I'm like, do I don't know.
Like, do you like someone more than you think you
Maybe.
do?
It's crazy. It's not right. It's not right. But
well,
whatever.
Only time will tell.
Yeah. Time will surely tell. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. You got something? I mean, I have an amendment I need to make on the last episode.
Oh, well, something that I forgot to say with the Malibu day of like how we challenged ourselves, you know, like I would typically not leave a note for someone I think is cute because the possibility of rejection is like, but now I don't really care, you know?
Yeah.
Because like all they could say is no. I'm like, all right, cool. But I would say challenging your normal, I think is very important. And I've been doing that a lot recently, or just like challenging like the confines, I guess, that you put yourself in, because you can literally do whatever you want in a sense. Like I could shave my head and move to Australia tomorrow, you know, like you can.
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Like I don't want to be like super defined of like every move is technical and I've like thought about it and it's the same shit I've been doing for the last 5 years. Like I don't like that. So yeah.
So you're just saying by stepping out a little bit more out of your comfort zone and being spontaneous, whether it's a trip to Malibu that we take or actually just like leaving a note for someone and putting yourself out there.
Yes. Sorry. I just like realized that there are holes in my jeans by my crotch and like my legs are not put together on the couch, but I don't think it's a problem. No. We're fine. I need to get these jeans are like so vintage.
Just
and
the entire time your crotch has been out.
Can you imagine? Have to put like a little something
blur
there.
Marker.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it's still fine. But oh my gosh. But yes, exactly what you're saying. Challenging your normal is okay if you do things that aren't typically described as you. Like I feel like for a long time I put myself in a box because I was like, oh, people think I'm this way, and so I should stay this way.
Oh.
But now I can be any way that I want. Like I could always do anything I wanted.
What do you think that people used to label you as? Like what was that the box that you were staying in?
I don't know. That's a really good question. The first thing that comes to my mind, and I am this way anyway of like, I don't know. Like sometimes you know how you think that people think of you a certain way, and I don't know if it's true, but just like being on my best behavior all the time and like being good at everything and doing things a certain way sometimes puts a lot of pressure. I put pressure on myself because I think people think that of me. So then if I fuck up or go off my beaten path, sort of, people are like, oh, what the fuck? Like, ugh. And so that I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself to be like perfect anyway. And then I feel like I have that pressure from other people. So I'm like, oh my God, I need to really challenge myself to do things that maybe aren't as quote unquote perfect.
When you say people, do you mean you're close knit? Do you mean just the public in general and kind of like people who see you from the outskirts and don't really know who you are?
I don't really know. Maybe all of it, all of the above.
It's just like you perceive that people are expecting this of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I just have that pressure on myself all the time to like be a certain thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I try to like do things where I'm just like, oh, because I always think it's interesting when I do something, people are like, oh, that's not really like you. And I'm like, okay, well then what am I like? Like I want to do more of that. So I'm not like easily definable, and I can, veer off my typical path. You know, like when people are like, oh, you don't drink. Oh, you don't drink. You're not going to have, I'm like, yeah, but I could, you know, like maybe one night I'm going to go and get blacked out, and that's not weird because I want to do it. And it's still.
Yeah. Again, I think it's just a matter of like, I don't want to be put in a box. Like, please don't tell me that that's not like me, because how are you to know what I'm like? Yeah.
Because then I like unconsciously or maybe even conscious now, like put a lot of pressure on myself to be that way. And I'm like, I don't like that.
We talk about this concept a lot of like, what's your narrative? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we say like, I don't want that to be my narrative. And so, for example, I don't know, what's a good one that, or like, okay, so like my narrative would be like, oh yeah, I always have like hormonal issues, or I have like stomach problems, or like I can't, or I don't drink.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't want to be so defined by those things. And what if I just go and eat a pizza?
Yeah, exactly.
Or what if I go out and party with my friends and have a bender all weekend?
Right.
I mean, not necessarily things that I want to do right now, but the idea of just doing them and proving to people that you don't necessarily have me pinned down to this one image is cool.
Yeah, totally.
That makes sense.
I know. And I don't know if that's like wrapped up in ego or not, but I also don't really care. You know?
What, not wanting to be defined?
Yeah, because I feel like on a soul level, like how could you even define what we are?
Well, and maybe that's it, is you know that that there is so much more than these few little details about how you've been living your life. Mm-hmm. That it feels boring to boil it all down to these things.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting because it definitely is an image thing. Like Tess and I had been talking about this of like how we portray ourselves on our podcast, like is totally us, and we're as authentic as possible. But there's so much more behind the scenes that people are not aware of. And sometimes I put pressure on myself with that of like, did I show up exactly how people think that I am, like via my podcast? But I'm like, you only see 45 minutes of me in my entire day and of you.
Yeah. Oh, we've been talking about this a lot.
Yeah, it has. It's like really crept in.
Yeah, I just sometimes get the idea that people think that they really know us through the podcast, and that's really nice. And I hope that you feel that way, but also hold space for the fact that just because I talk about something some week doesn't mean that that's like what makes my world go round, or that's the only thing that's going on in my life. Like, are you
I'm
really
so sorry. I had like
jeans?
a moment again that there was a hole, and I was like, because TBH, I'm not wearing underwear right now, but I think it's fine. Like it would just be my inner thigh. Does anyone else sometimes not wear underwear with their jeans? You're chilling. I am, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're good. But yeah, sorry to interrupt your thought.
That's okay. I honestly don't remember where I was with it.
Well, I'm sorry. That is sad.
No,
I think, and I was thinking about this yesterday because we went to, or I think about this all the time. As Tess was saying, it's very prevalent. But I was thinking about this yesterday at the Getty when we went to a birthday party. Happy birthday, Lauren. And we went to that birthday party and I thought like, okay, some of these people know of our podcast. They listen to us weekly. But then sometimes in situations like that, not all the time, and I'm not putting this narrative as like very concrete for me, but I can be more shy. And I don't want that to come off as being bitchy to the people who think I'm talkative because they watch my podcast. Like it's literally just us two and she's my best friend and we're talking to a phone. So it's like easy to like have a conversation. But sometimes I can be more shy, but I never want people to be like, oh, she doesn't like me. Like, oh, bitchy. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I can totally understand that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I get like really wrapped up in that stuff sometimes, especially like thinking about how other people perceive me based off of how I look.
Yeah.
Like attractive wise. I don't know. I just put a lot of pressure on myself sometimes, to be honest.
No, that, yeah. All I've been saying is I'm just processing. I'm in a deep state of processing this week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to get a blank journal today. Ooh. Like I have to like literally buy a blank journal. Yeah. I also wrote that in my notes because I need to find new things to do when I'm bored. I at this moment cannot handle looking at my phone. Like I heard, is it Lauren Bostic? Yeah. On Skinny Confidential podcast was talking about she sees her phone as being work. And I was like, yeah, I 100% I feel that now. Like she described exactly what I was thinking. And I was like, yeah, I see it as work too, which is not bad, but I would just like to separate like work and pleasure. So that can be for Cowboys or if I want to post on my personal story, whatever, Instagram. And I just like don't really like texting, to be honest. Like I'll text you back, especially if you're my close family friends. But like just call, you know, just like send a call or like call me.
This is really reminiscent to a rant that I went on
Dude,
earlier.
Just call. Like texting, bro, I'm sorry. I just can't.
It's too time consuming. It's really confusing.
It is, and also,
you don't get the tone.
Yeah. Like
I just
sometimes
don't
what's the point?
Yes. And also,
if you want to send a quick hi, like totally fine. Like, oh, I thought about this. Haha, funny. Yeah, whatever. I don't want to text all day. I just like cannot. I have no capacity for that.
I don't want to discuss something pretty serious over text.
Correct. Call me. Call us.
Also, one more note on this. And this is just literally a repeat of things I've already said. But if I love you, like I want to hear your voice. Totally. I don't want to see a text from you could be me reading anything on the internet. It doesn't hold that much space in my memory, but the sound of your voice will. Yes. And while you're still here on earth, please can I hear your voice?
Basically wrapping up to the note thing, just call. Calling is like a personalized note. Yeah. You know? Yeah. It's so fucking great. But anyway, what I was saying about the board thing is that phone is work. I need other hobbies to do and things that are not working out because it's so easy to work out and it's really taxing on my body. Like I was literally unknowingly so effing tired in your Pilates class this morning and I'm like doing stuff and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like my body is literally like, bro, can you go home? Yeah. Oh my God. So all for walks and stuff when I'm bored, like that's totally fine. Mellow
but like
walks.
we exercise a lot.
Yeah. And like sometimes I even put pressure on myself with that of like I exercise so much more than the average person, like chill. Yeah. And so I really want to get a blank drawing pad just to draw because I used to draw a lot when I was a kid. And now is it all about pressure? I'm having like a moment. I don't draw because it's just like sometimes I think what's the point, but like there is a point, like it's for pleasure and like me literally numbing out and just drawing. And I used to do that as a kid and I want to do that again because I always find myself like drawing on random shit, so I need to just intentionally do that. Way better than looking at my phone and looking at Instagram. It's like does not fulfill me at all. And I obviously love journaling. I have a bunch of prompts that I was just telling Tess about that I found on Tumblr that I need to maybe do like a prompt a week. So I'm going to do that. Yeah. What else did I write down? Drawing, writing, reading, you know, if I ever feel
just
in the
getting
mood
back
for that.
to more of those wholesome activities.
Yeah, and also just
that
being
ground
okay.
you versus like being on my phone sometimes just becomes such a vortex. I know we can all relate to that. Yes. Of like so much time passes, you're inundated with so much information, and then you're like, okay, turn it off and try to go about your day, but your brain is still holding on to all
and then
that.
like nothing is as stimulating as my phone, so then I want to keep looking at my phone. It's like, no, bro, just like chill. Yeah. Yes.
It was nice. We weren't on our phones much yesterday.
No. which is
great.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always try to have moments of not being on my phone. Like I'm especially for some reason specifically, can anyone else relate to this? When I'm in a car, I do not go on my phone. Like I really try hard to not go on my phone unless I'm searching for music. But whenever I'm like on Instagram in a car, like I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like I love to look at the scenery.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you could do that in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think about that. I don't know why. And just like chill and like it's like a confined box that I'm like, you got to force yourself. Don't go on your phone. Just like look at the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a thought. I remember now what I was trying to say about okay, so what I was trying to say about you thinking you know us from our podcast, like I love that idea. I know we both do.
Of course, yes.
Who we are on this podcast is very much so us
yeah.
and who we are. But again, as we were saying, like you only see so much of us. And I think that this is stemming from like very personal things that are coming up for me of like people that are in my life that like almost use the podcast as a way of like checking in with me, but
like it's a full update.
Yeah, and it's like, but there's so much that I don't share on here that I would love to include people on, and I don't share because it involves other people or it's like deeply personal and I haven't processed it yet. And so in the middle of processing something, I don't necessarily want to just go out and share it with the world yet, because it's like I have to hold it close and figure out what I even think about it before I share it. So I guess it's not that I don't want you to feel like you're not getting to know us on the podcast, but just keeping in mind that who you see and who you hear on these episodes are just, it's like a portion of the greater picture. And so hold some space if you ever meet us in person and you're like, oh, whoa, that's like not what I was expecting.
Right.
Like if you're used to us being like really bubbly and outgoing and then you see us in person, you have no idea what that day could be holding.
Totally. Yeah,
So
that's a really good point. Yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. I guess I have to journal on it. But just like having people think that you're a certain way, which I really shouldn't care what people think. I know, obviously. But yeah, I get caught up in like what people thinking I am a certain way based off of how I look visually. I have like a really big thing about that. It's so weird. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I would be interested to hear a more concise thought on this at some point when you've been able to go through it.
Yeah, I know.
Because I want to understand more of what that means.
I also do too.
So you'll have to come back.
Yeah, I really
whenever
will.
that may be.
I know. I'm like trying to think of specific instances where I'm just like, yeah, it's weird.
Okay. I have one thing left on my list.
Okay.
And it's an amendment to last week's episode.
Oh, yeah.
And after we finished recording, Madison brought it up and was like, I can't believe you didn't share this.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what it's going to be.
So last week's episode was weird work experiences, right? And things that have happened to us in the work environment where we are actually shocked that it's happened. And one of them is like one of my all-time favorite stories.
Yes.
About shit that's happened to me. And it does tie into how people perceive you and this whole conversation, because it could not be further from the truth. And I was so shocked to hear these words. So essentially, I became the manager of a studio that I was working at. And there was like a little bit of tension between me and someone else who had worked there, who was like, I don't know, definitely a couple years older than me. Definitely
decades older. But okay.
Not decades, but like.
Actually, decade is 10 years.
I don't know if she was 20 years older.
Yes.
I don't know. Really?
Absolutely.
Okay. And I was young when I became a manager. And that's okay with me. I've been called bossy a lot growing up, and what I should have been told was that it was like leadership qualities. So there's that. So I became a leader at the place I worked at quite early on, which means you don't get a lot of respect when you're young, right? Like people who are twice your age look down on you and they're like, what do you know? Like you're a kid. I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
So there was definitely some of that dynamic at play. And this person just like generally was not that nice to me ever. And essentially, Madison posed interest in becoming an instructor. This person kind of brought Madison under her wing for a second, because at the time that person was the manager. I then took over that position. Madison and I are basically the same person, so naturally we connect effortlessly. Yeah. We become besties, and this person in their own world starts to feel like they're on the outskirts. I don't know. I never made anyone feel like that. I'm a very warm, kind person who just tries to accommodate everybody. So as a manager, I'm making the schedule. I'm like, what shifts do you want? I'm just trying to be chill. I gave my shifts away to people to make them feel better and more content. Long story short, this person clearly doesn't like me. There's a whole lot there. I don't understand it, but that's their own. And they were on and off the schedule, on and off, kept coming in and out. And so finally I set up a call with them and I'm like, what is the deal here? Like, this doesn't make any sense. You keep asking for shifts, then you want to give them up. You're toying with the schedule too much. It's a lot to manage. How can I make you happy? What do you need? And this person went off and basically told me, long story short, that I'm the leader of the Mean Girls Club, which, oh my God. Okay. One, who uses that? Like, what? Two, I have done nothing wrong, nor am I mean. In fact, it's been quite the opposite. And like, how did you even perceive me as that? But again, that just goes to show you that everybody's going through shit and you don't know it. And so yeah, her inner world must have been something completely different from what was actually going on.
Well, correct. But also people like, and this is why we shouldn't care what people think, but everyone perceives you as probably different than you perceive yourself for the most part.
Of course. Yeah. Because I know my inner workings. So then she
sees a version of you that is that.
Right. Okay. So I was young, confident.
Yeah.
Half decent at my job.
Essentially stole me away in that person's eyes.
Right. And friends with everybody. And this person started to feel like they were on the outskirts and seeing me climb the ladder. And they're like, what is going on here? I don't like this. This feels threatening. Leader of the Mean Girls Club.
Yes.
And I was like, I've never been called that in my life.
No, but that's really funny. And it's so reminiscent of like an elementary school comment.
I didn't even know what to say. And that person
was literally like 40.
Yeah, it was just a very interesting dynamic because I felt like I would need to talk to someone that's like 13 saying that, but this person was twice my age. And I'm like, I don't know how to really counsel you here.
I would have just laughed.
I was just like, do you really feel that way? And this person was like, yeah, totally. And I'm like, but let's break this down because I don't necessarily, like, I want to understand where this is coming from.
It's so irrelevant.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. Honestly, thanks to the podcast title and topic. Yeah.
Leader of the Mean
It's
Girls
pretty
Club.
funny.
That makes me think of bullying. And I was listening to Alex Cooper, who's the host and producer.
Oh, yeah.
Is
it on Jay Shetty's podcast?
Yeah,
I wanted to watch that.
Yeah, I was listening to, I got most of the way through it. And she talked about how she was bullied like heavily as a kid. And that just made me so sad and also so proud of the person that she's become. She's fucking awesome. Even just I don't really know much about her, but just seeing the brand that she's created and the persona that she's embodied now of like just confidence and like empathetic because of what she's been through. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, oh my gosh, I hope that I've never bullied anybody because I mean, we talked about this yesterday. I don't recall ever bullying anybody, like especially to a serious degree for sure. But I just feel bad if anybody has like a memory of me.
Yeah. I was thinking about that too because Tess had asked me if I had outwardly bullied anyone. And I was like, no, not that I can recall. But I'm sure that there's someone out there that's like, dude, yeah, you said some mean comment to me. And I'm like, well, sorry for that. Sorry for younger Madison. I feel like I remember a specific time where someone, like I had made a comment. It wasn't even mean, but like to them, it was like a whole thing. Yeah. And they had brought it up to me later in life. And I was just like, bro, that was a joke. Like, I'm so sorry that was like sad. Really twisted. Yeah. And then is so ridiculous. He, of course, like said some comment back to me. And I'm just like, all right.
Okay.
If I see you in person now, I will not talk to you.
No. Interesting.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, have I ever been bullied? And for sure I've been bullied. Have you been bullied?
I don't know about bullied. I feel like I have to look up the actual definition of it, but I've had mean comments said to me. Not like to my face.
Rumors spread. Like,
yeah,
I
of course.
Really kind of went through it a bit.
Oh.
Not where like I didn't want to show up to school and stuff, but there was some shit that was said where I'm like, oh yeah, I can definitely understand how all of that played a role in my life. And when I was younger, I channeled that as being like, I became aggressive because I wanted to stand up for myself. And that only fed my like confidence and that inner world of like, I will literally stand up to anybody. Like I take no shit from no one. Yeah, type deal. But then now as an adult who is a little more self-reflective, I have now channeled that into being more empathetic and understanding of people, and like definitely less judgmental, or definitely not someone who's going to talk shit about little things. Like I am not petty in that way.
Yeah.
So I hope that you've never been bullied.
No.
Good.
No, not like literally not at all. I've heard comments about me, and yeah, I feel like, and we talked about this in the last episode, I think, of like I surround myself with the bulldog kind of characters, like who can be aggressive, and so people have stuck up for me in that way. So if they hear something from someone, they're just like, what? Yeah. And I'm just like, all right.
Oh, I'm having flashbacks right now to the horrible things that have been done, and I'm like, oh.
To me?
No.
Oh, I was like, what?
No, to me. Done? And I'm just like, oh, adult Tess wants to go kick some
sad
ass right now.
Yeah, there's nothing of note where I was really like,
yeah, people used to make fun of how my head, like, I guess maybe my head was big, but like my features were large. I don't know. I was just like, my head maybe stood out compared to my body. So I would get told all the time, especially by my brother's friends. He's a couple years older. I would get called orange on a toothpick. A cartoon character called Little Bill, which he was like a little kid. I remember with like a big head.
Was a good ass show.
I never watched it.
Oh, I totally watched it.
I definitely couldn't watch it because I was like, fuck that show. Yeah. I don't want to be called Little Bill. But yeah, I got teased a lot for my head, which like grew into that. So jokes on you guys. Lots of rumors spread about me in my youth. I think I've discussed this a little bit of, I used to wear thongs and I was like slutty and I was mean, and my mom taught me sexy dance moves and we had a stripper pole. I'm like, okay, dream big to all of the above. I just feel like there was a lot of shit that was said. Like somehow I was always like in the middle of conversation, and people from other elementary schools knew about me. And they had perceptions of me when we went to the 7th grade like roundup where everybody meets each other. They already knew who I was, and they already had formed an opinion about me.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
What the hell?
Yeah.
And it took a lot of like, oh, no, that's not me at all. And they had to see me in person and talk to me to understand that was just all hearsay. That was just made up.
Yeah, but I think that's a very common thing. Like, I think that as humans, maybe, I don't know if someone took a psychology class and this is like a normal thing, but we always want to define things, whether it be people or objects or some situation that's happened in our lives. Like we want to like define it and then think of like the result of it, or like conclude it in some way. Like when there was like ghosting going on, we always had to be like, well, why do we think that is? And then we have to like go down this whole fucking journey and then like have a result, or else it'd be like left in thought for like weeks.
Totally. When it could have just been
like, just like,
it is what it is.
Yeah, no like that happened. Bye. And it's just, there wasn't a connection, and that's actually, that's the answer.
And that's great.
Yeah. I don't know.
We
want like a definitive answer for certain things when there probably isn't one. Unless it's like some mathematical equation, which, okay.
True. But yeah. So yeah, this week has been like a lot of all at once or none at all type vibe.
Okay.
Like it's been like really hectic and then peaceful, and then really hectic and peaceful.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we can start to whittle it back down. Windle.
I didn't even catch that.
Whittle it back down to being calm and chill.
Yeah. I mean, I think, life is just really crazy. I feel like I said that like so many times yesterday when we were talking to people at the birthday party we went to, but life is just so interesting. Yeah. Well, I love it, but
that's all for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool.
I feel like I have like things, but we're going to record another episode after this, so I didn't want to like,
Totally. All right, guys.
Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, and follow the pod. Leave a review, click the 5-star. Anything less, maybe just don't even put the review. No, I was kidding. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. Seriously. We appreciate it.
And we'll talk soon.
Talk soon.